So, welcome. I am Dr. Sheika Square, and I want to do a continuation of the last conversation. I want to talk. So, last time I spoke about building out a quarter or a new year in an effort to plot out your wins, period. So, something that I was working on this morning, which is a perfect continuation to the conversation, is the ability to understand when it's time to try something new. So, I've been wanting to research, and I guess I'll just tell you, one of my social media platforms it does okay, and I wanted to research what types of things work best on that platform. What types of things work best on that platform? How's that related to anything? It's related to, so if you have a platform that might be better suited, because my ideal audience is actually on that platform, but I haven't in the past been able to do a lot of conversions on that platform. So I could just keep doing what I'm doing, or try. It's perfect time. I wouldn't be hurting anything to try something new because it does okay at best. It's not like some of my other platforms that do very well and we're tweaking. So I spent some time figuring out new things, new ways to approach a a I would say an old thing. I want to say old thing, but I'm gonna say old thing. A new way to approach an old thing. Because sometimes we toss it out. Sometimes we say, it's not working. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm just not gonna worry about it. And it could be our biggest opportunity. And because something about this platform has it is so. I'm gonna break this down into pieces. Notice I said that it houses pretty much my avatar. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, these are this is after you've been in business for a while. I won't spend a lot of time. So an avatar is your ideal client. Like the person who is most likely and has been most likely to purchase your products or services. You need to know what that looks like. If you don't know what that looks like yet, you're probably wasting a lot of time and energy. You're probably all over the place. But I kind of, from being in business for a while, I kind of know who's most likely to spend money with me and who's most likely to spend the most money with me long term. Um, and so this particular platform, that's the niche of this platform. However, even though it's my ideal client, we haven't been able to capture them as we have been able to do on other platforms. So when breaking down a new quarter, a new year, or revamping, I think it's also important for you to try something new. If you want your money to shift and change and look different, you have to be willing to try something new. I had a client tell me about 2 years, this was before the pandemic. She said, you are so fearless when it comes to taking risk. And I said, you can't make money scared. That's real. Like you can't, anybody, like when Nas bet on Coinbase cryptocurrency, he took a risk and he invested very early on. There was no guarantee that it was gonna hit. On paper it looked like it was gonna do very well, but there was no guarantee. So he had to take a risk. And that risk paid off tremendously. And so there's, a number of people who took a risk on something new, on something that, but we can talk about that all day. But be willing to, so this new thing wasn't even a huge risk. It was just something wasn't, it's doing okay. So it can't even hurt to do something different and that could possibly be better. And sometimes even when something is just okay, we're so afraid to let it go. We're so afraid to, oh my God, if I change it, what if? Okay, but it's not even really doing that well. So, all right. And that's relationships. That's how our jobs, our businesses, it's doing all right. And so it's doing all right, and you're still afraid to do something new or take a risk. I think that's the best time. What you gonna lose? Something that's all right? At the very least, you're just not gonna have nothing. All right to nothing is not a big fall. It's just all right to nothing. So I was researching something new for the platform to switch it up, because I also believe in making sure that what I put out, and this is something I've spoken a lot about. What I put out is authentic to me. Like, I don't really, if I notice that something I put out, people are like, yeah, I'm like, well, maybe it sucks. Or maybe maybe I could put more into it, because I also, although I want to have a business that's flourishing, the people that it attracts, I want them to feel like they got something out of it too. So if content that I put out, or information that I put out, or product that I put out is subpar, then maybe I can tweak it to make it wonderful, to make it great. We should always be growing. And so, all of that to say, at the beginning, it is very important, like we talked about last time, for you to evaluate and plot out what you're going to do for your year, breaking it down into quarters, then breaking the quarters down into months, and then the months into weeks, and then I have a daily consistent action to push you towards that overarching yearly goal. But in that, when plotting it out, it shouldn't look exactly like the previous year. It shouldn't look exactly like the previous year. Now don't, I don't even know. Any apologies. I'm trying to multitask, and y'all know how that goes for me. It shouldn't look like the previous year. I thought of Johnson & Johnson. So I read this book, Good to Great, years ago. It's very dense, but it has amazing information. Good to Great. I forgot the man's name. It's not that he's not good to great. It's just names. But in it, they talk about, how when a company that's already doing amazingly well expands, they don't expand to where they go from toiletries and household products to cars. They expand by going from household products and toiletries to making those better, or adding something to it. So when you're plotting out your years and your quarters in order to expand your money and your business and your finances, you're making them great, you should be trying something new that adds to what you're already doing. Your next year, even if it was amazing, shouldn't look exactly like your last year. So the year you're plotting out, even if your previous year was amazing, shouldn't look exactly the same. We shouldn't say, okay, well, let's do all this all over again. Because what's going to happen is you're going to not be able to compete. You're going to fall behind the people who are also doing, because you have to be innovative too. You have to look at what worked, why it worked, and then how can we make this better? And let's throw in a little twist too, because that might work too. It might flop. We're still going to do what works. We're still going to have that consistency. We're going to give our customers what they know and what they love. But we're also going to throw in something to attract new customers, and to let our current customers know that we can be, we can continue to make great quality products. So you can't, over the years, I'm pretty sure Johnson & Johnson has shifted. Music has evolved. Like we used to listen to breakdancing music. Although it is sampled now, we listen to different, things just evolve. Years ago, I would have never worn the outfit that I have on now, and it's cool and fun. And so y'all gonna get me off track. But make sure that in plotting out what you are attempting to have inside of your business and your money, that you also throw in where you're going to be creative. I think that's, I always like a mic drop moment. Where are you going to be creative? Where are you going to be new and have something new? Because that's really where, the motivation is going to come from, the excitement. Because if you're constantly doing something, if you're constantly doing the same things over and over in your business, whether it's making you a ton of money, you're going to get bored. You're going to feel like it's mundane. You must, and it's great to have a business that's flourishing, because then you can try new things. So in plotting out and, calculating and planning and goal setting your year, your quarters, your months, make sure you also try something new, because we don't want to get stale as entrepreneurs.